What's up, shitheads? We're back. I'm Willie Mack. Get Captain Clutch and the commish.
Captain Clutch will never get old.
No, it won't.
It's going to withstand the test of time, like the All A State story that Chase loves.
Oh my God, no.
Yeah,
no.
Ray might be joining us late, but maybe not.
No, the only reason why y'all kept making fun of me is because we actually had our conference tournament at where I played All A State. That's the only reason.
What made it even better?
I'm happy for you to take 20 minutes of our time telling the story.
20 minutes? No. No. Easily my best round of my life, though.
Yeah, what'd you shoot? 80, 81?
Shut up.
Even better than breaking 80 at Audubon?
Once I broke 80 at Audubon, I was like, all right, you can dig this up for all I care.
That was your top golf achievement of all time, is breaking 80 at Audubon?
I'd be like, all right, I'm not playing here ever again.
Right.
Getting off this course.
Oh, man. What a week 2.
Didn't get to watch any of it, so I'm going to be mostly informed by the two of you on specific details on what happened this week.
Well, it was crazy because, we talked about, which Chase, you and I talked about it before we started here, and we talked about it previous episodes, that I won last year with starting so many fucking tight ends. That I started at least 3 tight ends the last 10 weeks of the season. And then we went tight end premium, so it's like, okay, maybe it's helping me out again with that. And then I get 2 of my tight ends hurt week 1. Actually, 3, if you count Taysom Hill, who's on my bench.
Mm-hmm.
So I took 2 of them out, and I only started 1 tight end last week, and I'm the highest scoring team in the league. So, but I was able to pick up Jordan Mason. And J.K. Dobbins, who's still on my bench, he's now in the starting lineup, has been running wild. And Marvin Harrison finally showed the fuck up. So,
in a big way.
Had a lot of things go right for me.
Yeah, in a big way.
Yeah.
He helped me out in my other league, that's for sure. Won it.
Yeah, 4 for 130 and 2 touchdowns. I'm pretty sure all of that, maybe 1 catch, wasn't in the first quarter.
His 2 touchdowns were pretty early because that was while I was still inland, and I remember getting their notifications on that.
Yeah, so I ended up beating Trey 181.38 to 119.92. Chase 149.14 over Sweet Pea 128.6. Jed with a big win. 151.14 to 117.68 over Grant Collins. Grant Robinson 151.82 to 81.1 over Wendell.
Ian was high.
Willie Raw Dog. And then Tyler 135.66 to 89.24 over Hayden.
So, it wasn't pretty.
No, but it got the job done. Current standings on the east side: Tyler's at 4-0. I'm at 3-1. Grant Robinson and Hayden are 2-2. Wendell is 1-3, and then you got on the west, Chase is 3-1. Sweet Pea and Jed 2-2. Trey at 1-3. Grant Collins at 0-4. So one team at 4-0, and Tyler, and one team at 0-4, and Grant Collins. And for those of you that may be listening that aren't familiar with our league, which I don't think will be many people, but if there is, we do the median scoring every week. So we play a matchup against somebody and then a matchup against the median score. And that's the Will rule for the year that I finished third in points and came in last.
I assume y'all still enjoy doing that.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I think it's like one of the best rule changes we've had in the league.
Yeah. I mean, like I had my matchup won week 1, and yet I was still getting pissed at Brandon Ayuk because
So I have gone.
It's fantastic. I agree.
So I have gone back and did like I did last year, where I could change records based on the potential points and based off no median. So just the standard playing against somebody. If we didn't use the median, Tyler and Chase would both be 2-0, and then Wendell and Grant Collins would both be 0-2. Everybody else is 1-1. If we used it based on potential, Sweet Pea is the only one at 4-0, and Wendell and Grant Collins are 0-4. Tyler, I think you would have missed the median this week in week 2.
Sounds about right.
With 157.
So it's basically if we were playing best ball, right?
Yeah, best ball.
Yeah. And then Tyler would be 3-1, Chase would be 3-1, I'd be 3-1. So would look a little different. I did have a perfect lineup this week with 181 points, which I
don't remember ever seeing anybody have a perfect lineup. Like I feel like it never happens. Like I don't know. If
it has a couple times, but it's not often.
Well, it's not often that you have your perfect lineup and the highest scoring of the week.
Yeah, now that does. Yeah, that is a little.
Because like when Tyler's team, last year, 2 years ago, when his whole bench is basically hurt, it's kind of easy to play your perfect lineup.
No, I still didn't do it. Even in I still didn't do it.
So
like 85% proficiency.
So we improved 6% against the median from week 1 to week 2. Week 1 was 77.1%, and this week was 83.2%. But I want to give you guys a guess as to who is the person that has the best lineup percentage so far this year at 92.1%.
Well, you've got to be up the list because you just had 100%. But I'm going to guess that it's probably not you because you're talking about it, and I'm going to guess that it's
second at 87.8.
Wow.
I have 2 guesses.
Throw one out there. Let Chase have one, and then you can go back to the other one.
Please don't be Trey.
It's not Trey.
You ain't got nothing to worry about there.
Hayden?
It's either Hayden or Sweet Pea.
No, it is actually neither one of them.
There's Grant Collins because he's the one.
Grant Collins is 0-4 at 92.1%. He's actual 219.76 and potential is 238.5.
That sucks.
Yeah.
That does not bode well.
No, it does not at all.
I wish I could see the chat while I had this thing pulled up here.
Yeah, that's Crowley saying, please don't be Trey.
My boy.
And said median scoring is fantastic.
Oh, it is, yeah.
If the playoffs started today based off of the standings and the potential points, Hayden would miss the playoffs at 2-2, and then Wendell and Trey would miss at 1-3, and Grant Collins would miss at 0-4. Tyler would be the 1 because of record, then me, then Chase. But actually, Chase would be the 2 seed, and I would be the 3 because Tyler and I are in the same division based off how the playoffs set up.
Yes, sir.
So, have you seen my points for and points against? I'm like second in points for, and like I think I'm last or close to last in points against.
I'm pretty low on the points against as well.
Are you worse than me? Hang on, I'm gonna pull this up so I can see.
Tyler's got 207.16 against. That is the lowest in the league. You're 229.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine's low. Hey, Bob,
would you play?
I've had 263. Yeah, I've had 263 points against me.
I don't get to pick that. Well, this week I play Grant Collins, which I probably just jinxed it. He's probably gonna smoke. I mean, he's had what's he averaging? Let me just look at this real quick just to see.
So he's averaging 109.88. His average potential is 119.26.
I'm probably averaging like 130. And then my average potential is probably 150 if I had to
Your
guess.
average is 139.52. Average potential is 167.22.
I was relatively close.
Yeah. So I've got the most points in the league after that 180-point game last week. But potential is Sweet Pea at 353. Potential. So he's got the biggest differential in terms of total points. Wendell's actually last in differential at 77.2%.
Oh, Wendell.
Yeah.
Oh, let me tell you this. This is my fantasy tidbit for the week.
All right.
Of how you can handle a situation. So if you look at my team for this past week, or for this week actually, so I had 2 players on Thursday night, and I had what's his name, AJ Brown. So AJ Brown is in that weird window where, like, obviously not going to put him on IR. Yep. He's going to miss some time, so they're going to make him doubtful, and then he's going to go out. Well, I picked up a player off waivers, so whenever he was relegated back to the team from being out, technically I was over. There's a sweet spot between the last week and starting before waivers go where you can manipulate your lineup in that window and still have extra players on your team. So after last week, you can still move players around because he's still out. So I
Yep.
can still move people around.
Oh
so like,
yeah.
I had Ramondre, which he sucked. Don't get me wrong, he sucked.
0.
But like in a situation where he was not in my starting lineup, I was able to move him in and not drop somebody and just wait on AJ Brown to be ruled out. I can put AJ Brown back on my out, so now I haven't dropped that theoretical player that I may or may not have had to drop. So
Yep.
just something. I mean, it's something small, but I think if you're in like a competitive league, I think that kind of stuff moves the needle a little bit because you just.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you don't miss out on opportunities because what would have happened if I couldn't do that is I would have had, let's just say theoretically Ramondre was on my bench or something, but I would have had to have dropped somebody and then just try to pick them back up. And who knows? Like I mean, my bench isn't the best in the league, but like I don't really want to drop the players I've got. So
Yeah.
just something to think about.
You wouldn't have been able to get Alec Pierce for $22 on Fab.
Dude, how about that? Did you see those? How much?
Yeah.
That was that's the
So for Alec Pierce, Grant
Happiest
Robinson put
I've
in a
been.
claim at 0. Then Grant Collins at $20, Jed at 21, Tyler at 22. And Grant Collins said he actually went back and forth between 20 and 25 and ended up dropping it to 20.
Oh,
That's insane.
no.
Yeah.
I was wondering what y'all meant by that.
Yeah. That's crazy.
insane. Yeah, I've never seen it like that. I mean, usually typically you see people just well overpay and there's
Mhm.
nobody there, or it's like, there's some gapping there, but I've never seen it that close. Like, that's
Right.
wild to me.
Yeah. Usually it's one of those where like you put 20, somebody else puts 21, and then there's somebody else that puts 75 or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Which isn't that what Hayden did last year for Puka, and we gave him shit for it, and then Puka
Yeah,
ended up
I
going
mean,
to fuck
yeah.
off. So
Well,
course.
Chase did it for Justin Jefferson a few years back, and I gave him shit.
yeah, and that seemed to work out pretty well.
I had Amon-Ra on my team, and I dropped him at one point when he was a rookie. I had him. I
I
kept
think I
him
remember
for
that.
I kept him for like 3-4 weeks.
Yeah,
He did okay, but nothing crazy. And I was like, I'm not gonna keep. He's not gonna be a keeper. So like, I'm done
Yeah.
with this guy. So I just let him go, and here we are. He's a top
Right.
15, dynasty asset at this point.
Yep.
So
How about
that's
Alvin
fun.
Kamara Sunday?
Jeez
44 fantasy
Louise,
points
dude.
and 4 touchdowns.
Just another Christmas day. I mean, that's all it is.
Christmas Day.
Yeah, when he had those 6 touchdowns.
Yeah, it was wild. I mean,
Yeah.
that offense is playing extremely well. I'll say that.
Well, and the fact that Sweet Pea had him with 44 points and still got beat
Yeah.
Oh
Well,
no.
the rest of his team just absolutely
by you, Chase.
deuced.
Yeah,
Oh really?
yeah.
See, like I said, I was on a cruise all week. I didn't get to see any scoring, any of that stuff. So
And it's not like, I mean, he's not going to play Quentin Johnston, or I don't know if he would play Hunter Henry based on who he played.
I would have never played Hunter Henry unless the Seahawks are a
Nah.
tight end funnel. I don't know why you would play Hunter Henry.
Yeah, exactly. So that's
Yeah.
44 points on his bench right there between those two guys.
It's wild.
I'm happy with the win.
Yeah,
Oh,
right.
I'm sure.
As you should be. As you should be. So,
There goes my phone, out of reach.
oh, good job. What are you
Yeah,
on now?
that was my question.
What?
Are
you
you
on like a
an
GoPro?
iPad or something?
I've got multiple phones, guys.
Oh yeah, you got a work and a personal, don't you?
It's not a work phone, but I've got 2 phones.
Ooh,
That's an
big
iPad.
dickin' over here.
It's an iPad.
It's up.
Yeah, I'm gonna get tendonitis in my thumbs holding this thing.
All right, we got Willie Doo in here. He's got I had 2 in my backs are Hall, Steele, Mason, Aaron Jones, Braylon Allen, Algier. Should I trade Rashad/Bucky for AR5, Bigsby, or grab Fields or Geno off waiver? I would grab Geno off waiver because I still don't trust Anthony Richardson. I don't care what you say.
Should I trade Rashad and Bucky, but you don't have them on your team? My backs are Hall, Steele, Mason, Aaron Jones, Allen, and Algier.
That's
I
a valid
missing-
point.
So he's obviously got
that's
Rashad
that's
too,
what I
right?
was like. I guess is he saying should I trade for Rashad?
I'd get Geno off waivers. I
no,
wouldn't trade Rashad
Rashad.
and Bucky.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't.
AR5, big. I don't know what you're. I mean, it sucks to not have Tua.
I mean,
that
right now
obviously,
you got Hall and Mason. Just ride that out. I mean,
Yeah.
and then
I-
Aaron
I-
Jones is a good flex position there. Yeah, I mean, if
So
you're
is
having
Braylon Allen at this point.
It seems like it.
I mean, he's getting the touches, and he looks like he's, in my opinion, he's a better runner than Brees Hall is.
I
He's
think
not as-
Justin
he's not as
Fields is in
versatile,
there
but-
for the long haul too. I think Justin Fields is somebody you pick up.
Hey,
Well,
hot
as long as
take,
they
I
keep
think,
winning, why would they change that?
Yeah,
I know
amen.
he's not doing anything to win or lose them the game, but why would
But
you
he has
change
the
that
rushing
if-
upside. I mean, that's
That's
cheat
valid.
code for quarterback plays.
But you don't
So-
want Mr. Unlimited?
Mr. Unlimited. No, I don't want Anthony Richardson. I don't want Geno. No, I mean, although his last week was
Geno's
pretty good.
playing great. Geno's doing
It's
fine.
not his first week. Get out of here.
Geno,
Yes.
hold on. I think.
Hey,
he
you
did-
remember that? You remember that bet we had last year, Tyler, where I said Geno would throw for under like 250 yards or whatever it was,
220. Yeah, it was,
Yeah.
he'd average under 220, and he got like, I don't know what.
and he was well over it until that last week of the bet, and he threw for like 120 yards and got
Yeah.
under it.
No.
Listen, Chase, if you think that Geno Smith had a good week in week 2, but not week 1, you have a very thin tolerance for how well people play. Because in week 2 he had 17.88, and in week 1 he had 17.84.
Sucks, man.
Improvement.
He's terrible. No, I didn't really think that he had that good of a week 1.
Also, going back to what that guy said, I think that I would not be surprised if Jordan Mason is who the Niners use all season.
Mm,
Well,
mean,
from
they're
the way
win-
they're talking with
they're winning
McCaffrey, he may
games.
not come back.
Well, they're winning
What?
games. Why rush him back? What purpose?
Well,
does it
yeah,
serve?
that's valid.
I-
I'd say it's probably going to be one of those
well,
things
they
where
didn't
they
win a
bring
game.
they'll bring
That's fair.
McCaffrey back like week 14, like right as soon as we're getting into the playoffs, and try to work him back to get ready for the actual NFL playoffs, and that's what they're going to do. Is what I feel like.
I think you still got to be happy having Mason on your team, though.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
100%.
as
You
well
got-
as he's playing.
Mm-hmm.
What would you trade him for? What's the value there?
Jordan Mason?
Mm-hmm. I'm asking.
I mean,
you, Chase,
he's on a
not-
trade
not
block.
Will. Not Will. I'm asking Chase. What do you think his value is? Because I mean, he's your player, Will. So I
Yeah,
see.
he's on the trade block though. I put him out there
Yeah.
before he had 100 yards. and a
Are we
touchdown last
talking
week.
like redraft or dynasty? Like in our league?
I pretty much only talk dynasty at this point.
Okay. I guess in our league, it would be a little less than a redraft, just for the simple fact that you don't know if Christian McCaffrey. I would imagine that he'll be the running back for maybe the next year at least. So, that's tough because you get immediate play. He's a young back that I think was undrafted for them. Is that correct?
I
think
think he's a
so.
5th round, wasn't he?
Oh,
it
was he
doesn't
drafted?
matter. It doesn't matter. Either way, it's the
Second
same
round
thing.
pick.
A second. I was thinking late first. That's where I would pin it. Just because I think that, I mean, I do see it. I think it's situational. I think if you're somebody like that's in the top half of the league right now, who's in, theoretically going to be in contention, I think he's worth a lot more. I think that if you're in the back end, I don't see why you would ever buy him for the same reasons that you said. Like, yeah, he's going to be good this year, but what happens next year? I mean, unless CMC comes back and tears his, Achilles, like, I mean, what's he going to do next year? Just be he's not going to be 1B to Christian McCaffrey's 1A. I don't think.
Yeah.
I mean, he's
No.
good, but he can't
Well,
catch
there's
the ball, so.
nobody in the league that's going to be 1B to Christian McCaffrey.
No. Braylon Allen.
Yeah,
Dude,
And that was-
Braylon Allen looks great.
he has
I'm
looked
serious.
good. He
looks
looked good
great.
against the Titans.
He's like 6'2", 235. He runs fast. Did you see the play where he gets hit in the backfield? Probably
Dude,
like
you're supposed
3
to be
or 4
rooting for the
yards in
Patriots,
backfield.
man. What are you doing?
I'm rooting for my dynasty team at this point.
He said, "Fuck them Patriots."
Did you watch the Patriots? They did poorly.
No,
So
I
he
didn't get to
gets
watch it.
hit in the backfield like 3 or 4 yards in, and he just bops this dude down and makes it right back to the line of scrimmage.
Boss this dude down.
I'm telling you, he's a man out there. He looks big. He's fast.
Yeah.
I don't know
But he
how
can
he.
catch
He
the
was
ball,
a
too.
bruiser.
Yeah.
He was played for Wisconsin, right?
He was Wisconsin, yeah.
Yeah.
But he didn't get drafted high because he didn't run the 40.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Which, I mean, does the 40 really tell you that much? I don't know, because there's people who, in my opinion, run a fast 40, but they can't run with pads on, and there's people who run a slow 40 and you see them in patch, and you're like, oh, they look pretty fast.
I think a slow
John-
40 can tell you more than a fast 40.
John Ross, when he got drafted in the first round by the Bengals, was solely because he ran a 4.24 40 or whatever it was, but he
Yeah.
couldn't catch the fucking
Yeah.
brick if it fell out of the sky. So,
What did Tyreek Hill run? What was his 40? Did he run a 40?
yeah, but it wasn't that fast.
But see, that's what I'm talking about. You look at him, who I don't remember anybody ever talking about his 40 time.
His was
And then when-
4.29.
That's still very fast, but it's
Also,
still very
speaking of,
fast.
so now they track it by miles per hour, right? Because of the chip in their
Mhm.
shoulder pads, and they've got
Mhm.
that for college dudes. Arch Manning ran faster than Tyreek Hill has this
I
year.
I heard
read
that.
that. Yeah.
20.67, and Tyreek's only at like 20.2 or something so far this year.
Incredible.
Jeez.
Yeah. Go white boy.
Where in the world did he get that from? I mean, 'cause
Didn't get it from Peyton and Eli.
Peyton or
that's for sure.
Eli. Yeah, there's no
Now
way.
he's Cooper's son, and Cooper played receiver and not quarterback, so he had to have been running a little better. But wild stat from a white dude. That's right, Crowley.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. All right. Do we want to get in the starts and sits from last week? See how we did.
No, not really, because I'm pretty sure I did 4 again.
I don't
Yeah.
think anyone. Oh no, Trey won one.
So Trey's basically in the lead this year.
Trey
then?
wins week 2 because he was the only one that won one.
So basically, what we're telling you, if we try to give fantasy advice for who we start and who we sit, go with the fucking opposite.
I gotta
Well-
find my list here.
Let's put it this way.
Oh no, I know who I'm doing. Never mind.
I
got it.
picked Josh Jacobs as my start. And then Tyler picked Josh Jacobs as his sit, and we both got it wrong because he was right in the middle.
Well,
So-
with 30 carries, he ought to be right in the middle.
Yeah, he got 151 yards and no touchdowns.
Our explanation was correct last week. He was going to get the volume. I was betting on him getting over the 20. You knew he was going to get the volume, but he was going to be
Yeah.
the focal point of the defense. Well, it just put him right smack dab in the middle where
Yeah.
we both lost. So that sucked.
He got 20
Calvin-
carries in the first half.
Jeez Louise. He ended up with 30, right? That's
Yeah.
stupid. Calvin Ridley went off, so I lost there. Yeah,
2 tuds.
Danny Dimes, close. 18.32. 24, though, so I guess maybe
He's
not as
cooked.
close.
If you can't do it against Washington, he's cooked.
He's cooked.
Hey,
He's cooked.
fun fact in that game: the Giants are the first team in NFL history to score 3 touchdowns, not give up a touchdown, and lose.
Yes. So then that led to my question, why did they keep going for 2?
Yeah, so they missed an extra point on the first touchdown, and then their kicker Graham Gano got hurt,
Yeah, he's
so they
something with
went
hamstring.
for 2 on the next 2 touchdowns. And
I think they
didn't
put
get
him on
either one of them.
IR. Didn't they put him on IR?
Probably.
The kicker? Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
and
pretty sure he's
then-
on IR now.
And then Washington kicked 7 field goals.
Wow.
I wanted him as our head coach. Brian
Gano?
Dable.
Oh, Brian Dable, that's right.
Yeah, I wanted him as our head coach instead of
Yeah.
Josh McDaniels.
Yeah, he's on
And-
IR. They signed Greg Joseph.
Damn. That sucks.
Have you seen the little skit about Josh McDaniels where the guy's like, he hands him a piece of paper and it's got the little Patriot logo and it's like a little kid and he's coloring on it. He's coloring really good and it's like Josh McDaniels with the Patriots and he's all in the lines. And then they hand him a Raiders logo and he's like,
I can see that.
I should have sent that to you guys. Y'all would have liked that.
I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure I've seen them all. I've seen every single one, especially during his firing. Oh, that was great.
Anything we can do to throw shade at the Raiders, we'll do it.
Gosh. Saquon got close for you there, Will. If
Yeah,
they
that-
got
man,
that
that
touchdown.
Fucking
Yeah.
touchdown at the end. He went down at
Yeah.
the half-yard line. That also would have been close to winning me
17.6.
some money, too, if he would have scored.
No. That
I needed
blows.
that in my
That's
other
son of a
league that I
bitch.
have that's paid. If he had scored that touchdown, I lost by like 6.5 points. If he scores that and then catches that last ball, I win.
Mhm.
Oh,
I still don't know
Damn.
how he dropped that.
Yeah. I had like 170 something points. I went up against the highest scoring team in the league.
there's an
Sounds about
interesting
right.
stat about that Saquon has dropped the most passes based on a certain volume of targets or something like that. Since
He looks great.
Since like 2021. What do you mean he looks great?
He looks great. I don't care if he's dropped a ball. Have you seen the rest of his body of work this year? He's done
He's
fantastic.
he has dropped the most passes
Okay,
out of all running backs with a certain volume of targets. For how it was.
in the first 2 weeks.
Saying blame his ass. No, in the first 2020, since 2020, I think was when the
Dude, I
stat
could
started.
care less. He's been a stud, and 90% of that time he was catching balls from Danny Dimes.
Well, it didn't help him win that game.
Yeah, they should have just run it. The thing that made me mad about that is like clearly it would have worked because had he caught it, he would have been fine.
Yeah.
But like, why not just run the ball there? Like, why are you throwing it in that situation?
Well, I mean, I think they still would have scored in the amount of time that's probably remaining.
I think it was one of those things where they were like, okay, they're going to try to sell out for the run. Let's run.
Do something different.
Yeah.
But it almost worked.
And granted, the play call was actually perfect because he was wide the fuck open.
Was Pete Carroll down there? Was he the one telling him to make that call?
No, he would have caught a slant.
Yeah, slant. Yeah,
down the middle.
A slant that they had called 6 times in that game, and literally everybody knew what it was. Have you seen the thing with Malcolm Butler where he talks about that, where he was like, yeah, like I saw him lining up for this play, and like I knew exactly what he was going to do because they had done it so many times that game. Like he literally says, he's like, I couldn't believe that they lined up like that because I knew what they were going to do.
Wow.
And it was probably something that they had success on majority of the times that they ran it. So they were like, all right, let's do it again.
Yeah.
I mean, shit, Madden has built that into their logic now that if you run the same play over and over again, that the AI is going to pick up on it and try to change their defense. So
as it should.
That's
obviously
dumb.
They're going to do that
shit. Madden. There's one play that works, you just keep doing it.
Right. That's how I play Madden.
Yeah,
just rush to the line.
You ran that Texas route every damn time.
I mean, it works. Well, I mean, yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Will, your sit was Travis Etienne, 14.8. Didn't quite hit that mark.
Son of a bitch.
Trey, I wish he would have been here for his flowers because the Baker Mayfield I thought was a good one. He didn't quite get there, but he had a decent game. Jamar Chase was his sit. What a sit. 7.5. Good victory is all he had? All he had, Jamar Chase.
Yeah, 4 for 35.
That's the only victory was Jamar Chase in his set. And I know the reason why he did that is because he was pissed at his Cincinnati Bengals. And he was like, maybe if I do some reverse juju and I make Jamar Chase as my sit, he'll actually do well. No, Trey, you made your team suck even more. And they lost. So congratulations on the week 2 victory there. So
I think
records.
He did that because Kansas City shuts down one person on the other team well. But you may be right, too.
Did y'all see Jamar go off on the official and get a unsportsmanlike conduct penalty?
Oh, I did not.
Yeah, he wanted a hip drop tackle, and the official didn't call it, so he got up in his face and started yelling at him. And then walked off and then started yelling at him again.
Hey, man, have they called a hip?
No, they haven't, and that's been a big thing about that is that they made such a big deal about it and point of emphasis, and then they haven't called it. That's how Joe Mixon got hurt.
Yeah.
And I think that's how Pacheco got hurt too.
Did Tank Dell get hurt on that?
If he did, he came back in though.
Yeah, I don't remember. I thought that's what happened to him though.
Yeah.
Damn.
But I mean, we've seen guys get hurt.
Last year when he broke his leg.
I don't remember if he tore his ACL off that or not.
No, he broke his fibula or something, tibia. Like when he broke his leg.
ACL.
Joe Mixon?
No, Tank Dell.
Tank Dell.
Oh, Joe Mixon's an Iron Man. Joe Mixon never gets hurt.
No, he had a fibular fracture.
Yeah, he broke his leg. He broke the bone.
I think he was contemplating trying to come back in the season. If he had a tibial fracture, there's probably no way he was coming back. No, the season ending.
You can trust him. He's a doctor. Yeah, this guy. This guy.
Captain Clutch. We need to change your name to Dr. Captain Clutch.
No.
No, don't do it. You can't.
Stop.
Captain Clutch transcends time.
Stop.
Oh, shit.
Trey is now winning in terms of percentile. Trey is at 33% hit rate for his starts and sits.
Wait, how's he at 33%?
Because he had an injured player week 1 that didn't count towards his
I said that math doesn't make sense. We've had 2 weeks.
I'm 25% hit.
I'm 0. I'm sure
both y'all are 0.
I'll get some right this week.
I'm pretty confident about mine, and they're kind of spicy.
Mine are not spicy, so we don't have the same one. Mine are as bland as a tortilla with nothing on it. So there's nothing. Well, maybe you could say that one is, but I don't really think so. I think they're both pretty obvious. I need to check I need some
Hey.
wins in that bucket. So
My sit's gonna be Ramondre Stevenson for this week.
smart.
Yeah,
You're a smart man.
good sit. That's great.
I thought he hurt. Did y'all watch that game? I know you didn't, Chase. Will, did you watch that game?
No, I was.
I read your text message.
Preoccupied.
Said that
Literally
he,
doing anything
broke
else
his
that
finger?
would have been better.
Oh,
with
I
time.
was
Yeah.
preoccupied.
I thought he hurt his finger. I hope Sarah watches this. I thought that he had one good run. It was like 20 yards or 18 yards.
I got that
at the
notification. Yeah.
End of it, he stiff armed this dude, and as these continuing to try to run, it looks like his finger got stuck in his face mask. And as he's pulling it, he can't get his hand out. And then, like the next 2 or 3 plays, he's on the sidelines, and he comes back in and he fumbles immediately. And I was like, but there's no report of him
Get him out.
being injured. Yeah. I mean, I still think for the people who started him, it's still the right play. I mean, the Jets weren't exactly stellar against the run, and he had 20-plus touches in the first 2 games. I mean, it was the right play. It just didn't work out.
Do you remember when that was? I'm gonna try to pull up the film on it.
I do not. I think in the second quarter. I think it was pretty early. Actually, I tell you what. Hang on a second. I can tell you what play it was, actually. Now that I think about it. Shout out to fantasy football. No, seriously, I mean, y'all could look this up too. Hang on, I'll tell you. Ramondre Stevenson, 13-yard rush, 3-yard rush. It wasn't 13, wasn't it? More than that?
He had a 20-yard run.
He only had 23 total.
Yeah, but it was 23 when it was initially reported. Look, 2nd and 7, second quarter, 7 minutes, 57 seconds.
All right.
I think that's it.
Oh yeah, because he got so that's why I got called back because he got a penalty on it.
Yeah, he had a penalty on it. It was a big run. It was a good run.
For a face mask?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he was trying to pull his hand out of the person's face mask.
I wonder if you can watch that. I could be wrong, but that's how it looked to me. Like he put his hand in this guy's face, and as he was trying to shove off of him, it was like he just got stuck there. It was a weird play. I could be wrong, but it was a weird looking play. Have we gone over everybody's poor decisions they made last week, or you want to start us off with starts and sits this week, Chase?
Yeah, I got my start. I got it here ready.
I'm ready to hear it. Will's knee deep.
Yeah. Here. Let's don't show these tips again.
If you show this video, I'm gonna be so impressed with you.
No, don't.
The camera quality, the mic quality. Here I am with an iPad.
Oh, here we go. Can y'all see that?
Yep.
Oh, shit, are you even allowed?
Yeah,
I don't
we'll
know.
find out.
I'm gonna get banned for this, but fuck it. I pay for the subscription, so why not? So it's gonna be right here. Like you can see dude's head turn, and that's why the penalty came.
Is there there's no replay of it, is there?
Well, it's only the sideline cam and the end zone cam. I don't have because this is the all 22.
Yeah. Do you have to? I'm assuming you pay for all 22. I've always wondered that how people have.
Well, so I got a free month, and then I'm gonna pay for it. It's NFL Pro on NFL.com, and you get that's where I got all the stats from, and the all 22 stuff.
Well, now they're gonna ban you for showing.
Just make it quick, you'll be fine.
Yeah, from showing all these one people.
From showing Crowley.
Crowley's not gonna tell anybody, so it's fine. If somebody from the league fucking watches this, then more power to them.
Amen.
All right, who you got, Chase? Let's hear it.
It's time for the tight ends, the top tight ends to kick it up. It's Sam Laporta week.
Let's hope you're right.
This will be the week that he gets utilized against Arizona, who has been laying out the points against their or their first two games. So I really think it's going to be a high scoring affair, and Sam Laporta is going to be heavily used.
You want to know what's actually going to happen? Jameson Williams is going to get 20 targets.
250 yards and 3
Are you
touchdowns.
starting him this week?
I believe so. I haven't changed my lineup, nor can I, because Jordan Love is not completely ruled out yet.
You see, this is what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
This is
that's
it.
valid.
You could, if you had players on Thursday, right after, before the waivers run, you can manipulate your lineup and you can make it right.
Well, see, so I did the same thing. I had Njoku, and he was out last week, so I've just left him on my injury spot, and now he's out again this week, so I'm good.
Yep. And it would make a difference. What made a difference for me this week is that Ramondre Stevenson was in my flex, and I moved him into just a regular running back role, which I realized that's kind of getting into the nitty-gritty, because what are the odds that I had an injury that happened that forced my hand to make me have to play a running back? Like, it's slim, but there's still a chance that could happen.
Yeah.
So, here, you want Trey's start of the week?
Please.
Yep, let's hear it.
Let me pull it up. It's going to be really exciting. Because Trey and I have the same start of the week. And I thought about changing this, but I'm not, because I'm planting my flag. It's Joe Burrow. So
whoa.
Here's the thing. I don't think that Joe Burrow has ever played a preseason game in his life. And I don't know that many of the starters in Cincinnati ever play a preseason game. And I don't know that Joe Burrow has ever got off to a good start on a season. Ever.
No, I think Cincinnati has started the season 0-2 the last 3 seasons.
It's always. And I think that they should be primed up and ready to rock and roll. And they get Washington, and Washington's a get right game for every position. I was gonna say every quarterback, but honestly, it's every position. I almost said Jamar Chase on this. I almost said, like, hey, I'm gonna, but I feel like that's kind of low hanging fruit because he's Jamar Chase. So I said Joe Burrow because I do think that he's gonna. I mean, I would not be surprised if he has. I mean, Daniel Jones just put up 18 against them.
I don't know how much rushing he got in that game. How much
Not
rushing Daniel Jones?
Daniel Jones threw 2 touchdowns, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So 18 points with 2 touchdowns.
Yep. So I'll argue for Trey too there. Will, who you got? Start of the week.
Well, who's your sit?
Well,
we haven't said sit.
We're only doing starts. I got you.
So Tyler, Joe Burrow is your start as well, correct?
Yep.
So I'm
not arguing for Trey. Just so you know, that wasn't like him passing me his argument. I'm just telling you his. He can argue for himself.
I've gone back and forth on this, just because I think that both guys will perform this week, but I haven't been able to make up my mind on who I'm going with. So I'm gonna go with Travis Kelce.
Ooh.
He scored like a combined 8 points the first 2 weeks.
He's taken the.
So I think that it's going to be one of those where they try to get him involved early and often.
Who are they playing?
Kansas City is playing. Where did he go? Atlanta. Sunday Night Football.
Dang.
Bright lights in the Atlanta. So I think they're going to try to feed him.
I think he's as cooked as Daniel Jones. I think he's donezo. Now, there is a good chance that here's the thing. I think that his like route participation and like how much he's out there is actually really high. I think. I don't know. I don't have numbers to support that, but I think he's out there a lot. But I wonder if they're just protecting him and trying to save him because he's, grandpa. I wonder if they're trying to save him for the playoffs.
I wonder if Patrick Mahomes is making a kind of a decline because he hasn't had.
Get Hayden on here. Get Hayden.
He hadn't had the same start of the season like he's had the last couple of years.
Yeah.
So in 2 games, he's had 49 routes ran, 7 targets, and 4 catches.
So his targets per route run is not fantastic. It's less than 20, right? I don't know math. That's what.
So target rate's
14%.
Yards per route is 0.8.
That's terrible.
Catch rate over expected is negative 22%.
Wow.
And receiving EPA is -3.
That's tough.
Yeah, it's not good statistically.
Tough.
Yeah.
All right,
Average
Chase,
yards of separation 3.8.
Trey can't argue for himself. Kelsey's the ultimate decoy.
I mean, not totally wrong with how they've done so
Yeah.
far, but also passing as a whole is down in the NFL this
Yeah.
year.
But you know what's up?
Still running
Field goals.
field goals, yes,
Field goals
which
are
is
up.
awesome for our league that we don't use kickers.
Oh, yeah. It's awesome for the no-bench league where kickers score 60 points.
Yeah.
That league. Lord.
Yeah. The other person that I was considering to start was Derek Carr.
I mean, it's kind of hard not to.
Yeah.
First thing I
Which,
said at the beginning of
granted,
this year, best
so
regular season quarterback.
Our threshold for quarterbacks for the start is 24, and he hasn't gotten that either game.
Oh, really?
He's
I
been
realized that.
between 21 and 22 both
I
games.
felt like the threshold was a little much, but I mean, as long as we make it.
Well, how
I
many
guess-
times has it been passed this year?
By a quarterback?
Yeah, I mean, has it? Surely it has, right?
Let's see. Week 2, Kyler Murray had 29. Jalen Hurts had 24. That was it.
Week 1, Baker Mayfield had 29.
Jaden
Josh
Daniels
Allen had 31. Mayfield
Yeah,
had
Josh
30.
Allen.
AR had 26. Jaden Daniels had 25. Lamar had 25.
So quite a few. Okay, it's not.
Yeah.
It's not bad. But those are all big names. I feel like. Well, I say that as I have my start of Joe Burrow, but I feel like for the most part we try to find people that are not like,
Yeah.
start
and-
your Josh Allens.
So in
Yeah.
week 1 of the 5 players of quarterbacks that scored over 24 points, 3 of them had a rushing touchdown and 2 of them had 2 rushing touchdowns.
Go Josh Allen.
And Lamar,
Well, no, didn't Jaden Daniels? Oh wait, no, he wasn't in.
he had a rushing touchdown.
Yeah, he had. Yeah.
Excuse me.
No, I'm sorry. Jaden Daniels had 2 rushing touchdowns.
But he
Richardson
didn't-
had 1.
But he didn't cross the. Jaden Daniels didn't have more than 24 points.
He had
Or did?
25 week 1.
Okay, he did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good start. It's a hot start.
Yep.
All right, Chase. Who are you sitting this week?
My MVP of the year, J.K. Dobbins. So
Bold move. Cotton.
they're playing Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh just
That's
somehow finds a way. I
Yeah.
don't understand it. They're an anomaly in terms of their defense and how they shut people down and make the games completely boring. So I really feel like they're going to shut the Chargers down in terms of their offense, and somehow they're going to get up. Chargers are going to be a negative game script, and I'm kind of curious what their offense looks like at that point, because the Chargers are 2-0, Pittsburgh's 2-0. So I don't know if the Chargers have had to play behind. I know they didn't against the Raiders. So I don't know if they've had to play behind last week. But I am curious what their offense kind of looks like. And I do believe that they get behind early against
They
Pittsburgh
played
with
Carolina
their
last
defense.
week, so they did not get behind at all.
Sounds about right. Yeah, and then, of course, Andy Dalton is going to be starting against the Raiders, and I'm sure he's going to throw 4 fucking touchdowns, just like freaking San Fran. They used him, and he went to the Vikings, played
Sam
a little
Darnold.
bit. No, it was a while back. I want to say Kyle Allen, but that's not right.
Is
I
that
forget
Mike
who it
guy?
was.
What was that guy's name?
Josh Dobbs.
No.
Josh Dobbs looking like the
Yeah.
Dolphins would love to have Josh Dobbs right now.
Yeah.
Actually, they signed
Mullins.
Tyler Huntley.
Mullins. What was the
Oh,
first
Nick
name?
Mullins.
Nick Mullins. Yeah. So San Fran, I think Jimmy G got hurt. Nick Mullins started that week against the Raiders and threw like 4 freaking touchdowns, and then threw like 4 interceptions the next week. So
So Andy Dalton has started 1 game for the Panthers. He threw for 350 and 2 touchdowns.
we're fucked.
So
Mark it as an L. But J.K. Dobbins is my sit.
I mean, it's a smart move considering who they're playing.
I'm also going to sit J.K. Dobbins, which is super annoying to have the same players as you guys do, but it's for all the same reasons. I think the efficiency's got to give at some point. He's basically splitting carries with Gus Edwards. I mean, you would think.
Well, they
looking at
did
the
run it
production
like
that he's,
45 times last week.
That's fair. That's totally fair. Totally fair. But I can't imagine that he's going to run all over the Steelers like he run all over the last 2 weeks. So that's it for me. I don't really need to elaborate on a whole lot. I agree with everything Chase says. I think that the Steelers are going to neutralize him. Trey is going to sit Tyreek Hill, I think, for obvious reasons. Yeah, so
someone's got to get the targets.
I'm not arguing. It's going to be Devon Achane.
You're probably right.
Or hopefully Waddle.
Is he going to play? Is he hurt, or am I making that up?
He is hurt, but he has been hurt, but I don't think he's got it. He doesn't have a designation this week.
Yeah.
Hey, Will, after you do yours, there's a trade question in the chat if you want to talk about it.
Oh yeah. All right.
Sebastian, before we get to your question, go ahead and add in the comments your setup of your league.
Yeah, PPR, non-PPR.
You can throw your team in there too if you want.
Yeah. So my sit, I almost went with Travis Etienne again, but I did not. Mike Evans.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah, that's kind of bold.
So Mike Evans only had 7.3 last week, and they're playing Denver this week, which means he's going to get the Pat Surtain treatment.
He's going to get the curtain.
Yeah. Which means Chris Godwin is going to go the fuck off again.
Crowley,
What's
true
gonna
or
happen.
false? True or false, Crowley? I told you that it was going to be a Godwin year. I told him last year, I said, it's going to be Mike Evans' year. I said, draft Mike Evans, and he went off. And this year, in our league, he said something
Not
like,
Tyler's man.
Not.
he said something like, how early you drafted Mike Evans? And I said, I'm not. It's a Godwin year. I'm going to look it up where he texts me that.
Get Liam Cohen back in there, and he puts him back in the slot, which is where he
needs to be
had
back in
his
the slot. That's all he needs to do.
MVP year. Yeah. No, that's why I drafted Chris Godwin into my other leagues.
Bold prediction, Baker Mayfield finishes top 3 MVP voting.
Top 3
Dude, I would
MVP
love that.
voting.
And I think one of the other people will be Derek Carr.
No. Week 14. He's done it too much.
Yeah.
He's done
Crowley
too
said
much.
several times already, and it's just week 2.
No, I think this could be like if Saquon kind of deal, MVP with the Eagles, because I mean even his game last week was decent. Inevitably shit the bed at some point. I agree.
Never. At that point, they'll just put in Rattler, I bet.
He'll recover for next season for whatever team he plays for the beginning of the regular season. He's always a good regular season quarterback. He starts out the season great, but for some reason he, like you said, shits the bed at the end. So I don't know. Maybe he can get it done with the Saints, and I'd be very happy for him. But I don't think it happens.
Yeah. All right, Sebastian, let's get to your trade question. Trade Devontae Adams and Jaylen Warren for Jamar Chase.
Has Jaylen Warren done anything this year? I feel like the answer to that
hurt.
is no.
He got a hamstring injury. The week before week 1. He was very limited week 1.
31% snap share week 1.
Week 2, he got ramped up a little bit more, had a little bit more of the receiving option.
Yeah.
I am fully anticipating him being 50-50 with Najee this week against the Chargers. However, what does that really entail if Justin Fields is going to be your quarterback? If Russell Wilson was the quarterback, which is what I was anticipating whenever I drafted Jaylen Warren, I feel like that was his best case scenario. But Najee is, I think, Arthur Smith's guy. That's who he's going to use primarily, especially for goal line, which is about the only time that it's going to be, I guess, viable fantasy aspect on Pittsburgh. So I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of Warren right now as long as Justin Fields is the quarterback. So if you can make this happen, because I talked last week, 2 Wednesdays ago, and I think Brock Bowers is going to be your primary, or at least in terms of value, he's going to completely outplay his ADP compared to Devontae Adams, although he had a a great game last week. But I think just overall for the entire season, if you can make that trade happen, I have to assume Jamar Chase will have a bounce back at some point. But man, it's starting to get nerve wracking. I mean, you're through 2 weeks and he's been dog water. So
Yeah. I mean,
I say yes
Devontae
to the
Adams,
trade.
Devontae Adams' targets went up from 6 to 12 week 1 to week 2.
Gardner actually looked like what he was doing for the Colts during against Baltimore.
And what he did for Jacksonville for the whole time he was there, yet they still ran his ass off.
Interesting stat before you all say your mind on this trade thing. So Bryce Young, right, just got benched, right? They showed his stats compared to Trevor Lawrence for the first 18
Oh God!
games.
Tell me they're not close.
They are almost exactly the same.
Gosh.
And one got the bag and the other just got benched. So a lot of people are like, are they giving up on him a little too early? Especially with, Canales being the quarterback guru, but maybe he can only work with older quarterbacks and revive their careers. So he had to go to Andy Dalton.
Well, so here's where what I think's going on with that is I think that the organization as a whole is so royally fucked up, and that Tepper's putting so much pressure on him. Tepper was walking through the middle of the practice field the other day while they were stretching. I think he's putting so much pressure on the head coach and the GM. Is like, okay, look, I don't give a fuck what you have to do. You've got to try to win the game, which means probably bench the number 1 overall pick that we traded our fucking King's ransom for. So I think that I don't think they're giving up on him. I don't think they want to give up on him. However, I think it's pressure from the top is what's going on.
I would totally get on the phone and try to trade for him now while his value is down.
So a hypothetical 3-team trade. The Rams are, not the normal Rams, especially how bad they got beaten Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Well, if you lost your entire offensive line, your Titans.
Amen.
Yeah.
And your 2 best receivers. Yeah.
Yep. And Higbee's already out too.
Yeah.
So really, your top 3 receivers.
Wild.
And Miami needs a quarterback because of Tua. So 3-team trade. Send Bryce Young to the Rams. Fresh start with a young offensive guru. Matthew Stafford to the Dolphins.
Wow.
And draft picks to Carolina.
But what draft picks are they going to get out of that?
I think it was the Rams 2nd and the Dolphins 3rd.
You got to get it. You got to do it at this point.
Yeah, that would be crazy.
To every single Panthers home game for cheaper than 1 ticket to any other game right now.
I believe that. Hell, last year there was one point that you could get Panther tickets for free.
Oh my God, dude.
So
that's just so bad.
I believe it.
Relocate.
Come to Kentucky.
Right.
Have no fans.
I mean, yeah, you're probably right. Also for the trade, I would take Jamar Chase. I think. I don't think it's as close as, or I do think it's closer than I thought initially. And I think it's dependent on your team that you've got. I think if you're really thin at running back, I do think Jaylen Warren can offer you some upside later on once he's healthy. And I think that Devontae Adams can get close to what Jamar Chase can do. But I also think that Jamar Chase's ceiling is significantly higher. I don't see Devontae Adams going out with the quarterback he's got and putting up 40 points, but I could see Jamar Chase doing that. And the schedule coming up for Jamar Chase is, I mean, I can look at it and tell you it. Obviously, they have Washington this week, which is like, decent. And then, let's see, it's Washington, Carolina, Baltimore, the Giants, Cleveland, which is tough, Philly, Las Vegas, and then Baltimore.
This is all assuming PPR, right?
Yeah.
Because I was assuming PPR.
Yeah, I don't think it
answer.
Honestly, it probably doesn't matter either way.
Yeah, I don't think it matters. But if it's not PPR, then I'm definitely making it. PPR would be my hesitancy because I think that Jaylen Warren could catch the balls and be a good flex play or maybe even RB2. I really think it could be.
Warren's got 2 targets, 2 catches each of the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, but he's only playing 30% of snaps or something like that. I mean, I'm not super concerned there.
Last week was 48%.
They haven't been
Yeah.
in a negative game script either, which could potentially happen later on, especially when
Well,
you have.
But not
Justin
this
Fields.
week.
I don't know that they shouldn't get into really too many negative game scripts with how their defense is.
Amen.
Pittsburgh.
It's wild.
The only way they would ever get in that is if whoever's at quarterback throws multiple pick sixes or turns the ball over
Yeah.
or tries to throw a lateral while he's horizontal to the ground.
Are you talking about Will Levis?
Subtle
boy.
jab. Yeah.
Subtle.
Also,
It's
by the
funny,
way, somebody leaked his phone number, and I hope they rot in hell.
Oh no.
Yeah, so everybody's blowing his phone up, like, dogging him for how he's played, and he said he
That's
had to go get a
funny.
new phone number. Yeah, fucking asshole fans.
Man, that's messed up.
Yeah, I don't group myself in with those fucking people.
Just a typical Titans fan.
But fuck 'em.
Typical.
Well, so
Typical.
I saw somebody on Twitter that was that thought they knew who did it, so they reported him to X and got him banned.
Nice.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. You do what? Both of y'all have talked crap about your teams. I haven't talked crap about my team because they just. I mean, you could just turn
And
the
your
TV
team
on.
is
and watch a
arguably the
replay.
worst.
Turn the TV on.
They're not arguably the worst. They are the worst. There's not even an what argument. do you make?
Carolina.
Oh, I thought you meant between the teams that we're fans of. I don't think
Well-
they're the worst in the NFL. I think they're worse than the Titans, and I think they're worse than the Raiders
Yeah, which is funny because New England's won a game.
against Trey's Bengals.
Yeah,
Which he sent me this thing. Apparently, who was it? Was it Trenton Irwin that caught the touchdown that got reversed and it caused him
Mike
to lose?
Gesicki.
Was it Gesicki? Who's Irwin?
In week
Irwin's their wide
one.
receiver, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they said that.
And
They
they
said that
ended
shouldn't
up
have been
coming back.
overturned.
Yeah, they did come back and say that they should.
Yeah, that's wild.
Y'all see where
I mean,
Dan Campbell had to put his house up for sale because his address was leaked and people were playing pranks and harassing his wife and kids? I did see that.
wow.
It's too many fucking stupid people in this world.
No, it's not that there's too many. It's just that they've been allowed to be loud, and nobody's put these people in their place.
Right.
You mean I mean you make an example out of people who do stuff like that. People quit doing it. It's kind of like drug dealers. I guarantee you, if you just put on PBS instead of public broadcasting, you just put like the execution of people who are selling drugs or raping kids, they'll quit doing it. They'll quit. I promise. It'll weigh down if they think, oh, I might be on PBS and get hung. That's not what we're here to talk about, but
Well,
Yep.
hey, I did see somebody say that Derek Carr was the reason why the city of New Orleans went 18 consecutive days without a murder.
Oh my God, Pat McAfee show was talking about that. I was watching that on the plane riding back home,
Yeah.
and yeah, they said, "Wow, that's a lot of pressure." Yeah,
You're
if you
right.
lose a game, there goes
Murder
several
right
people's
back up.
lives right there. Yeah,
Yeah.
way to go, Derek Carr. Oh my
it's a lot of pressure.
No pressure.
Oh my
man.
God. He said, "Yeah,
That's
I
hilarious.
might want to go look at Indianapolis right now."
Right.
Sheesh.
It's wild.
Do we want to talk about all the injuries that are going on right now? I know
Oh,
we
dude, I took a
mentioned a couple of them.
screenshot of
So
it.
many.
I have a
Cooper
gigantic
Kupp's
screenshot.
out.
Let me
Joe
see if I can find
Mixon's
it.
doubtful. Evan Ingram got hurt in warm-ups last week, so he's questionable. Debo's out for a couple weeks. Keenan Allen's out. Jordan Addison's out. Raheem Mostert's doubtful. I don't even know who Tajay Spears for the Titans is questionable.
Jordan Love, Tua, Christian McCaffrey, Isaiah Pacheco, Kenneth Walker, Tajay Spears, Raheem Mostert, Puka, I think you said him, Keenan Allen, Hollywood Brown, T. Higgins, A.J. Brown, Josh Downs, which I think he's coming back, Evan Ingram, David Njoku, Jake Ferguson, and Taysom Hill. That's
So
wild.
many fantasy relevant players that gotten hurt. Do y'all think that they're getting hurt because they don't play preseason? No, I some of them maybe, but I mean, several of those guys did play, but I don't know that it's necessarily because of not playing in the preseason.
I don't know what NFL practices are like, but I like to assume that they are pretty high intensity as they get closer to the season. So I would think they can't mimic the game, obviously, but I would think that they should be ready to roll. It's all those video games they played as kids.
Well, I think it's strength and conditioning too, because the The Titans had led the league with injuries over the last couple of years, and
You
now
hear me?
that they got a new regime, yeah, we can hear you. Your headset die? I'm gonna take
He
that as a
can't
yes.
hear us. Yeah.
Nope.
I can hear him smoking that keyboard.
Now that the Titans got a new regime and got a new strength and conditioning coach, they they only have one guy on the injury
Well.
report that's got a designation this week.
Can you all talk? No. Yeah. Hold on.
We
Can you hear us now?
Now you're muted.
I'm gonna leave.
can
Come
hear
back
you.
in. Sorry.
Gosh damn it, Chase.
He needs to go to his settings and then
Yeah.
do the thing that I did with audio. It's all right. We should be wrapping up soon.
Right.
And
have a-
Crowley, to directly answer your question, I don't know. I have no idea. But I think the Bengals may win a game if they play in the preseason. They might have a lot more luck beating some of these teams if they have a little bit more, just a hunch.
I tried to fix it. It wouldn't work. Sorry.
I can hear you great.
Yeah, we can hear you. Can you hear
Yeah.
us?
And yeah, I got you now.
Oh, okay, cool.
My headphones died. Sorry.
Yeah, that's fine. You hadn't been there for a week to charge them, so it makes sense.
Get it together. You should have taken them on the cruise with you. I don't like that we switch positions.
Okay, my bad.
I'm on top now. There it is.
We know you like to be on bottom of the both of us.
That's right.
Oh, Moses, what the heck?
Does this thing turn? What happens if I do this?
Ooh.
All right.
Um,
Here
There
we
you
go.
go.
Now I get to look over here at the side of the camera and not the center of it.
Yikes.
But can I pull this up?
Oh, what else do we need to talk about?
I don't know because I'm really honestly, I was needing to hear a few more of the injuries, so I'm glad that you all said all those because like I said, I just got back from on a cruise, so I didn't get to.
There's so
Okay.
many injuries. It's crazy. Yeah.
Malcolm Cooks is out for the year for the Raiders. It's so
Well,
That's
with a last name
devastating.
like that, I mean, come on.
Devastating. How will they ever win another game without Mr. Coombs?
To look at our fantasy league, I think Wendell and Hayden they're projected right now to be within a point of each other, so that's going to be a good
Wow.
matchup. And then Sweet Pea and Jed is projected to be a good matchup. That's close at 4 points.
Well, if I keep having players score less than 1 point, me and Grant it's going to be a very close game.
Yeah.
Also, can we talk about the setting change?
George
just
Kittle's
so-
out too. Or
Just so
doubtful.
people are aware of what happened. So I was under the impression that the sub, like the auto sub feature, was turned on already. I had never even tried to mess with it. Like I just
It was
assumed
something that
on.
Sleeper rolled out right before the fantasy season started, which gives you the ability to select up to 3 players, which I assume it's just defaulted to 3. You can't change the number of that, right?
No, you could do 1, 2, or 3.
Okay. So
Yeah.
you can select the players that could potentially be out and put in an auto sub, so that way if they get ruled out before the game, then it would automatically change them to the person on your bench. Which, like, Trey had a perfect example of that last week because
Would've
Evan
been
Ingram
perfect.
got hurt in warm-ups, and he didn't realize it until like 12:15. So he couldn't do anything about it, and he was just stuck with Ingram in his lineup at 0.
Luckily, would not have changed the outcome.
That's right. But there are scenarios where it could have. So
And you can do 3 players. It's not, hey, if some random person on my team gets hurt, these are the 3 players and this is the order I want them to play in. It's, okay, I think that A.J. Brown is doubtful, so I'm going to designate this player to be his replacement if he doesn't get in.
Yeah.
Like, you can't just say, these are the players I want to throw in, which I think would be nicer if you could just do that. But
well, and how you do it too, for those of you that haven't looked it up, is you select the player like you're trying to sub them out, like you would normally do if you're swapping them to the bench with somebody, and then at the bottom it's going to say select for auto sub.
all right.
So, yeah, if you just click the position to the side of that player, then that'll do it.
Because I may have to use that.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, anyway. So that's good.
Yeah, and I'm playing Grant Robinson this week, and he's got Joe Mixon, who's doubtful, and George Kittle, who's doubtful. Both of them have 0 points in the lineup, so I imagine our game's probably going to be pretty close too. Thankfully, he had Demario Douglas on his bench with 15 points.
Yeah, he looked pretty good. I don't know if he was playing necessarily the first string of the Jets by the when he racked up his points, but
Yeah, well, KJ Osborne didn't have a damn target.
yeah, he sucks.
Weird.
Youth movement.
I thought he was supposed to be like the number 1 guy at the beginning of the year.
They don't have a number 1. They have a bunch of number 3s. That's all they've got. A bunch of 3s. Some 4s, but mainly 3s.
And they
So
threw
annoying.
Drake May in there for no damn reason.
We get reps.
I can't. Why? Let's put him in there against arguably one of the best, if not the best, defense in the NFL. I don't know if there's a defense that's better, especially against the pass. I don't think that there is. Let's let our rookies that we drafted.
Starters out against. It was basically a preseason game.
No.
If you had him play in the preseason game, you might as well put him in during blowouts like that. Whenever the other defense doesn't even have their starting lineup, get them some.
They had their starters in. Reed was in. Gardner was in. They had good players in. That's what doesn't make sense to me. You put him in. You put him in a position to start out his NFL career, which I thought he was going to throw a pick with his first pick, which it would have been.
It should have
his first throw. It should have been. But the thing is, if you watch that play, I can't remember who it was. He had somebody streaking open, and he shoved it into the tight end. And I was like, you could tell he was like.
Do we need to pull it up here?
Actually, yes, if you can. So he's like, it just looked like he's like, okay, I'm so nervous. I'm just going to throw it to this guy. It doesn't matter what happens.
He just saw Jacoby Brissett get freaking annihilated all game. You can't tell me you're going in there being like, all right, I'm going to make this happen. Here's this comeback.
Yeah, it was – I mean, he did okay. I think he had a couple rushes. I think he had like 10, 15 rushing yards, and then he was 50% passing. So it wasn't – I wasn't discouraged with what he did. I don't know. For some reason, I just feel like it's a terrible idea to just throw him in that game like that. Why? The Jets, of all the teams, the Jets.
Well,
All right, here we go.
They're your division rival as well. Might as well just get experience.
I don't know if you can call it a rival at this point. It's been so lopsided. It's either been the Patriots just absolutely romp them, or they just look at next to the 40 right there. You see, watch him. I can't remember who he is, but if you watch him, he breaks free at about the 50.
So this isn't going to show it because it's the end zone cam. You won't be able to see it until he breaks up the pass. But the sideline cam here,
you can watch him. He's the guy next to the 40. I don't know who he was.
I think it's this guy right here.
Yeah, watch.
Yeah, he breaks off of that guy. Oh yeah,
Was he okay? Replay that one more time.
Watch this guy in the slot. So this guy in the slot's going to run a go down the sideline. This guy's going to break off.
Oh, he had so much time in the pocket. Yeah, that's bad.
And you could argue, you could say, well, that defender come forward when he made the pass, but if you stop it as he's making a throwing motion, then when that defender's backpedaling, the receiver is going to be open. So like right here.
Well, I mean, he hasn't even started his motion, and this dude looks like he's already breaking off to come here.
Yeah. If you go like a second or two more, which I don't know how hard that's going to be, but
the ball's coming out of his hand and he's broke off.
And maybe that safety would have stopped it, probably, but it was a better option than the one he threw to.
Well, even this guy here is a better option because you got the DB that's trying to slam on the brakes.
It's a longer throw, though.
It's a longer throw, but I think he's got a better chance of completing that one than this one.
Okay. Is that showing you? Yeah, that's showing you who's in right now. So you've got DJ Reed in, Sauce Gardner's in, Quincy Williams is in. Yeah, I mean it's a lot of starters there.
Yeah.
That's 4 minutes left in the game. That's clearly already won, and you've got your starters in, and they put Drake May in to just go get obliterated.
Yeah, I don't know. you got to get experience somehow. You can't just be on the bench the entire time if you're going to be the franchise quarterback.
But what? I just feel like he could ride the bench. He could learn a lot from the beef brisket. He really could.
What
He
would
could
you
learn a
do
lot
if
from
they named him the starter this week?
At this point, well, you might as well. At this point, who do they? Let me see what their schedule looks like. Because I do think you gotta. I mean, I think
The Dolphins are
it's one of the toughest in the league.
yeah, it's not great.
Bills.
They've got
looking-
San Francisco, Miami, Houston, Jacksonville, the Jets again, Tennessee, Chicago. There's not a good chance to start him, in my opinion. So I guess you're right. I guess
That
you
sounds
kinda
like
throw him in
several
there.
games where he would get murdered.
But why not just let Jacoby get murdered? Theoretically.
I think everyone agrees with you, but it's more of what do you feel like develops a quarterback more?
Hey, Peyton Manning said that he felt like him getting thrown to the fire and playing his entire rookie year is what helped him. And he also wants rookie quarterbacks to come out and play so they can break his record of 28 interceptions as a rookie.
Yeah. Well, he probably knows better than I do. And I mean, he surely knows better. But I don't know. Like, it's not going to be a winning season even if Drake May comes out and he's just an absolute all-star.
It
So-
ultimately comes down to what do you think is more important for quarterbacks development?
Yeah.
Learning the playbook, learning your players, or experience the game.
So in recent memory, there's only one quarterback that comes to my mind who set like his first whole year, and he's a stud.
Patrick.
There's only
Patrick
one.
Mahomes.
That's the only one that I can think of. There may be more, but I mean, you look at Bryce Young, who's been seeing ghosts every time he goes out and plays. I mean,
I think
maybe I'm
Josh
wrong,
Allen
but-
I don't think he started week 1. I think he set some.
yeah, I don't think he should. I mean, I don't necessarily think he should sit all year.
Jordan.
I don't think he should sit the whole year, but I think if he set half of the year, I mean, I feel like you learn a lot on the sideline. Maybe I'm wrong. I never played in the NFL, didn't get the call, but I feel like you can learn a lot sitting over there, listening to the plays being called and the people have discussions. I feel like you can learn a lot.
It does
It's a
seem to
different
be more. You at least get a mid quarterback of some sort because the recent ones that come to memory, Jordan Love, exactly what Crowley was saying. Jordan Love sat for 2-3 years, right?
Yeah.
So now you see Michael Penix probably going to be working underneath Kirk Cousins.
Michael Penis.
For
Dude,
for
I
a
picked him
year.
up because I thought that Kirk Cousins looked so bad in week 1. I was like, he's gonna be here quicker than you know it. I don't know if that's true or not.
Well, he's still
Atlanta's paying Cousins $40 million a year for 4 years, almost all guaranteed. Like, he's not going to get benched. The only way Penix is going to see the field is if it's a blowout or if Cousins gets hurt.
He could get hurt.
Yeah.
But would that be good for Kyle Pitts? Probably
No.
not. Probably not. Anybody want
Has
Kyle
it been
Pitts?
good for Kyle Pitts so far?
No, I'm talking about Penix.
Oh, wait. I mean, has it been good for Pitts so far, though, with having Cousins in there? No.
Nope. No, well, he's on the field
He
a
did
lot.
catch a touchdown.
He did.
If anyone is going to let anyone die, it's going to be Atlanta letting Cousins die.
I mean, yeah.
Probably.
I expected a lot more. Of course, I expected a lot more out of Drake London too. So it's not like it's not just him.
I am more worried about
But-
Drake London than I am Kyle Pitts.
Who are you
I'm
more
more
worried about,
worried
Drake
about-
London or Garrett Wilson?
I think Garrett Wilson is looking fair, but once again, the problem that I had for him was the fact that Aaron Rodgers slows the game down. He does not
Mhm.
run a whole bunch of plays. But Garrett Wilson, when he's out there, he's his number one target. Alan Lazard is just the Randall Cobb of the scene behind Jordy Nelson or behind Devontae Adams. So
Did y'all hear Aaron Rodgers' comments about after the game last night
No.
about Garrett Wilson?
What
So
he
they
say
asked
that
him-
he's not doing well because he's the focal point of the defense or something?
Yeah, he said that they're rolling too high and doubling Garrett Wilson because their game plan is to take him away.
are they?
I mean,
Yeah.
Then there you go. You're going to beat them in many different ways. So
I do think that the Jets had like 70 plays last night.
It's a decent amount, I feel like.
Yeah. Well, I mean, especially when they had the ball for 40 minutes.
Yeah.
So, all right. Bronson said got offered Devontae and Rashad White for Carr, Mason, and Waddle. 10-team PPR, 2 QB, 3 flex. Other quarterbacks are Mahomes, Geno, and Tua.
Before we discuss about this, Crowley just mentioned a quote by Mel Kiper
Mel Kiper, yeah.
that makes me think he should probably retire.
I understand where he's coming from because, they've been saying that the NFL is going to be a passing league and that they want more explosive plays like that because they want higher scoring games. So from that aspect, it is concerning that they're not getting to that. But I don't think banishing too high cover 2 is going to change that.
So weird.
Yeah.
I don't understand that. Anyways, so Devontae and Rashad White for Carr, Mason, Waddle. We're in a 10-team PPR league. 2 quarterback. Wow. 3 flex. Other quarterbacks are Mahomes, Geno, and Tua. Well, you might as well just say Mahomes and Geno.
I don't like that trade because for right now, because 1, how well Carr is playing. 2, Jordan Mason is the guy until McCaffrey comes back. So you got at least another 3 weeks of that, if not more. And then Jalen Waddles, who's pet cricket is screaming. Tyler in his damn garage,
I know.
probably.
I know. I hate it. Yeah, it's me. It's this cricket behind me.
Pet cricket.
And I think Waddle, he said, or instead of Waddle, it could be Terry McLaurin. I'd rather keep Waddle and get rid of McLaurin.
Yeah, I'd keep Waddle. Well,
if you can do that, trade Devontae and White for Carr, Mason, and McLaurin, that's going to be more tempting than Waddle because Waddle's ceiling is much higher because he's got the ability to go off for 7 for 160 and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, but his quarterback sucks.
That's the problem right now. Yes, is they don't have a quarterback. It's either going to be Skylar Thompson or Tyler Huntley.
But Huntley was good. He had some good games there,
but it was
Baltimore.
because he ran the ball.
Yeah, that's probably fair. It's hard for me to think.
That's the only reason why he made the Pro Bowl, other than the fact that he was like the 10th alternate and got in.
Don't be running your mouth about Tyler Huntley, okay? Guy's a stud.
And Tyler Huntley has tried to go 2 different other places and has not succeeded and just immediately gone back to Baltimore.
Yeah, but this is it. This is the one.
Everything's sunnier in Miami.
I wish that I knew. Like, I've never been big into Superflex leagues, so it's really hard for me to determine value on quarterbacks in that. I mean, I typically like to have the best player, not the volume, in a trade. But I feel like if you have 3 flex, 2 quarterbacks, volume might actually be the play. And I don't think people are talking about Geno. And I think Geno he's fine. I mean, you look at Derek Carr. How many PPR points How many points has Derek Carr had the first 2 weeks? He hasn't eclipsed 24, right?
Derek Carr,
21.82
and 21.3.
Okay, so Geno's had 18 the first 2 weeks. So, I mean, Derek Carr has played fantastic, and nobody's even talking about Geno.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm if I'm in a 2 QB league and I've got Mahomes and Geno, I'm not dissatisfied at all. Also, speaking of Seahawks,
do we think that JSN has overtaken Tyler Lockett?
Surely, right? Yes, I hope so because I traded J.K. Dobbins for him in a league.
No. Tua will be on IR or something. I don't know if he plays another game this year. He may. I don't know, but
I don't know that he plays another game ever.
You
he
have
shouldn't,
to assume
but I bet he does.
You only have Mahomes and Geno. You can't get rid of a quarterback and not have a backup quarterback for a super flex league.
Well, who do you have on waivers then? Because then you can add that into the trade too. Because you can assume it's Devontae Adams, Rashard White, and a waiver
league,
quarterback.
so you at least have 2 starters on each team. My assumption is the majority would have a backup. So there's 30 quarterbacks right there. So there's likely only 2 potential starting quarterbacks in
That's
your
a good
league
point.
if everyone has a starting.
It's
or
probably
has-
New England's quarterback and Carolina's quarterback.
You cannot get rid of Carr, in my opinion, right now, especially since you had Tua, and Tua is now, you just can't afford it. If you are going to make that trade, you need to get, some kind of starting.
Get a lower level quarterback back.
Yeah.
You don't need one. It's a nice to have. You don't need it.
Well, if
don't
Mahomes and
need
Gino
it.
goes down, you're going to be.
That's a big if. What if they don't go down?
I agree with you.
I mean,
If
I
some
think
butts
that
are
you're-
candy and nuts, we don't have a Merry
Yeah,
You're going
fucking
to be
I think-
Christmas.
spending your entire fad on the backup quarterback for that team. That's what you're going to be doing. It's too.
Yeah, I mean,
it's too
If
risky.
they even do fab,
It's
they
too
may do
risky.
just
Plus, I
straight-
don't even like Devontae Adams. It's not that I don't like him.
spoken from a typical Raiders fan.
Yeah.
He's,
This is on
he's
brand.
the best player on our team, but I really do think it's going to be a Brock Bowers show by the end of the year. And Rashad White is not efficient with his touches. He's just getting the touches right now. But if Bucky Irving continues to show what he's doing, it's going to be more of a 50-50 split at the end of the year. So I think you're trading for now potential, I guess you could say, and then probably regression at the end of the year. While if you kept Carr, it at least gives you insurance in a Superflex league. And then the fact that you have 3 flex spots, who are you
A lot.
picking up? You got to play a bunch of players. And doing a 2 for 3 in that large of a league, you got to be getting a quarterback for insurance, especially since you had 2 go down.
You don't have to.
You have to.
Should. You don't have to.
You have to.
Don't listen to this guy. He's trying to force you into a position because he's scared to fly by the seam of his pants. 2 quarterbacks. That's all you have to start.
I
That's
don't know.
it.
I think.
2.
I understand. But
I do agree with your point about Rashad White, though. I'm not a huge Rashad White guy. I think that he'll continue to get the receiving work, so in PPR he's going to continue to be valuable. But I don't think he's going to have a year like he did last year, where he was quietly a top 5 running back. I don't think he.
Well, as long as
Rookie
he stays
season's-
healthy too, because he got hurt last week, even though he did come
True.
back.
Groin,
But
groin injury, was it? Is that
Uh-huh.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's even worse when you have a groin injury during the game. Like if you get a groin injury at home, that's one thing, but having one in
Yeah.
the game,
You can justify the home one.
damn, bro, yeah,
It's just a bunch of dudes. And you get a groin injury.
it sounds like P Diddy.
he's at a Diddy party. Lord. God bless it. Here, let me do this before we adjourn because I do need to go to sleep. I got to get up early. Let me tell you guys 2 trades that happened in my other league, and you guys tell me which side you'd rather be on. In a vacuum, of course. It's just tit for tat. There's no. I'm not going to give you any context. Yeah, I'm not going to give you context on what it was. So, my first one, it was me, and I traded away J.K. Dobbins for Jackson Smith and Jigba. I can give you some context, but that was the first trade.
Chase's cruise went to a Diddy party.
wait, hold on.
He's what did he say? Jason's
Crowley
what?
said Chase's cruise went to a Diddy party.
Lit. The Disney cruise?
Yeah,
Damn.
he was at the last one before Diddy got arrested.
Oh, maybe that's the joke there.
That's why he keeps leaning forward and backwards. He can't sit still because he's sore.
Because it hurts. Yeah.
He's sore.
Oh my god.
So I know Will would be on the JSN side. Chase, are you on the JSN side there as well?
I don't know that I'm on the JSN
Need to
side.
know.
Oh, I thought you said you were on JSN side.
No, I think that he's overtaken the number 2 spot in Seattle over Tyler Lockett.
Either-
However, with freaking Harbaugh, he wants to run the damn ball, and as long as Dobbins stays healthy, he's gonna get 15 to 20 carries a game. So the workload's gonna be there.
I can tell you what my situation is, if that makes it any better. My other running backs are Saquon, Devon Achane, Jordan Mason, Rico Dowdle, Javonte Williams, and Jerome Ford. And my wide receivers are Malik Neighbors, Chris Olave, Rasheed Rice, Jamar Chase, Terry
Yeah,
McLaurin,
from
and
your
Christian Watson.
situation, you
Wow.
It
are
made
better
sense.
off getting JSN.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you just look at the 2 players itself, I would probably go with Dobbins just from the workload that he's going to get and how the Chargers
He
want
is
to
going to
play.
get the workload. Yeah.
But
Also
it
had
does help. It does help that JSN's taking the number 2 spot.
I floated out a trade to the same owner. It was J.K. Dobbins for Tank Dell. I would have been happy with either of them because I kind of view them as one and the same.
Yeah.
But he took the JSN one. I tried to get Jameson Williams. Yeah. The other trade that went through was Devontae Smith for Brandon Ayuk.
Yeah.
Standard redraft.
No, Devontae Smith is all. I'm all in on Devontae Smith this year.
Yeah, I thought it was a pretty fair trade for what it's worth.
Brandon Ayuk's going to look good this week because, I mean, Deebo and George Kittle are gone. Christian McCaffrey is gone. He's literally their number one option. So,
yeah.
Also, may mean, with our argument that we have with Josh Jacobs.
Well, I think Juwan Jennings got hurt in some capacity the last week or so, too.
I thought that was week 1 when he got hurt.
His ankle.
Yeah, hey, you got a bum wheel. It doesn't fix itself overnight. So he's probably.
Yes, it does.
He's probably.
That's exactly how that works.
Yeah.
I think Devontae Smith is the better target in that one.
In all 3 of my leagues, there's only been one trade, and it was me trading McLaurin for Ladd McConkey.
Crowley. Looked like you fleeced her week 1, but now it's kind of a
yeah.
Who cares? I think he'll be good this week, though. I think it's a Ladd McConkey week.
Mm-hmm.
Negative game script definitely potentially could.
You're all about those negative game scripts, aren't you?
Chase is a negative game script.
Raiders,
he's just so used to it.
Yeah, exactly. I know when it's coming from a long way away, and I promise you this
what she said.
game is going to be much closer than it probably should.
And Crowley, the only reason that's the only trade you've had in a league is because no one will accept my trades. I've sent a handful in that league because I had who did I have? I have Cooper Kupp and Isaiah Pacheco, who are both. Oh, Cooper Kupp's out now. I can put him on IR.
You talking about the no bench?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
My child's awake, so I gotta go.
All right, well, we'll end on that note. Thanks, shitheads. It's been real. It's been fun. See you next week.
See you guys.
Deuces.